Thank you, as the witness. The witness is reminded that she's still under oath.
That's correct, my lord.
Thank you, Mr. Lourentia.
Thank you, my lord. Thank you, my lord. Ms. Lombard. My instructions are, and I'm putting it to you,
Instructies van die stel
that my client, Apollos, he denies that Kelly, as I've already put, broke a window there, and he denies that Kelly came and threatened to stab him.
Beskuldige nummer 1 sê hy stry dat Kelly 'n fens op sy uitgeslaan het en dat Kelly vir hom so gedreig het met 'n mes.
What's your comment? Do you have a comment about that?
Nog 'n kommentaar wat is 'n comment?
Ik heb het gezien.
I saw that, my lord.
Now, as it's become customary, and I constantly have to caution against it, those were two different incidents. Now, when you say you saw it, to which one of the two are you referring to? Or are you referring to both?
Twee incidenten zijn niet geplaatst dat Kelly niet de mensen zo uitgeslaan volgens Boetani, dat Kelly ook hier omgedreigd had. Van wat heb je als je zei het gezien, van wat heb je verwijs in?
Ik gezien van Kelly.
I saw Kelly.
Ik heb van Kelly gezien van Boeta, plastic mis.
Wanted to stab Boeta with a knife.
And the breaking of the window, did you see that?
En de gebruik van die venster, heb je het gezien?
Ik heb het gezien, ik heb het gehoord, de rijder.
I didn't see that. I would hear the glasses.
Thank you, Manu. In your evidence in chief, after you related this sequence of events of the breaking of the window, the threatening to stab, and the screaming and, or not screaming, and swearing at Buddha, not much time passed there, am I correct? From the last time I asked you what time it was, and you said you'd not be able to say what it was, what time it was. But now there was this breaking of the window, the swearing at Buddha, and threatening to stab him. Have you any way to give an idea what the time was then?
Gedurende die incident van die gebrekery van die venster, skellery, regiment, jy het wel gesê jy weet dit was, ek kan onmoontlik sê wat die tyd dit was.
Ik weet niet wat hoe laat was het geweest nie.
I don't know what time it was.
Your next event, if I can call that, your evidence led that Kelly spoke to Boeta and told him to go and get wood. Do you recall that?
U getuienis het ook verder gehandeld dat u onthoudt dat Kelly voor Boeta zou gezegd om hout te gaan halen. Onthoudt u dit?
Dat is correct, my lord.
What is there that, from that incident, what is there that reminds you that at that point in time, after the threatening to stab, the swearing at him, what is reminding you, or what did remind you that this is the next important occurrence, or what happened? Can you tell me?
Nadat u die gedreigement en die alles, wat het toe u laat onthou dat die volgende belangrijke instantie zou wees dat Boeta moet hout gaan zoeken? Wat het u laat onthou?
Want ik kan onthou, Kelly het vir Boeta gesê, Boeta moet gaan hout halen.
What I can remember that Kelly said to Boeta, I must go and fetch wood.
But what I'm asking you is, why do you remember that? Was that important or strange?
Hoekom onthou u dit? Was het belangrijk of was het vreemd?
Dat was belangrijk geweest.
It was important.
Can you explain why you say it's belangrijk geweest?
Kan u dan verduidelijken of hoekom zou u dan zeggen het is belangrijk?
Hoekom ek so sê is omdat Kelly het vir Boeta gesê sy wil in probeer kos maak. Sy wil kos maak. Daarom sê vir Boeta gesê Boeta moet gaan hout haal.
Kelly intended to make food. That's why she asked Boeta to go and fetch wood.
How do you know Kelly intended to make food? Did she tell you that, or did you assume that?
Hoe weet u dat sy wil kos maak? Het sy dat u gesê?
Dat is correct, my lord.
Right, yes.
Did she say it to you or just in general? Or
Het
to
sê dat
somebody
aan u
else
gesê, of net in het algemeen, ek gaan gewoon kos maak.
In die algemeen
In general, my lord.
And then you gave evidence, said that Boeta said, but I've already gone and got wood.
U het toegesê, nee, maar dat al weer sal hout gaan haal.
Dat is correct, my lord.
Yes.
You remember that clearly?
Can you repeat, please?
Do you remember that clearly?
Kan u dit duidelijk onthou?
Dat is correct, my lord.
Yes.
And then you also probably remember clearly that your evidence was after that. You said Kelly told Boeta that this wood that he says he got, that's not wood.
U het ook duidelijk onthou dat Kelly sê vir Boeta die woord wat jy gaan haal, dis nie hout nie.
Dat is correct, my lord.
Reg? That's correct.
And you saw this as important.
U het dit gesien as belangrik, of geag as belangrik.
Dat is correct, my lord.
That's correct.
Then later on your evidence goes that you stood there next to Boeta and you called Kelly. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
U het gesê u het namens Boeta gestaan. En toe Kelly, kan u dit onthou?
No. Can you repeat the question? It seems the interpreter didn't hear you.
Your evidence led that you stood there at the house and you called Kelly.
U getuienis was gewees, u daar reeds gestaan, u het vir Kelly geroep.
And you said that she didn't luister, she didn't listen to you.
u sê toe sy het na u geluister het.
That's correct, my lord.
And then you said Kelly also called, Boeta also called Kelly,
U sê Boeta het ook vir Kelly geroep,
and she also didn't answer him.
sy het hom ook nie geantwoord nie.
That's correct, my lord.
And is this the same as the previous answer you gave? Why is this important? Why do you consider this information important?
As jy voor hetzelfde soos wat vorig aan vraag was geweest, hoekom het u dit geag as belangrik?
Want ik het voor Kelly geroepen, toen Kelly naar me luisteren en toen bracht het op Boeta daarna wie voor Kelly toen ze ook luisteren.
Because I called Sarah Kelly, she didn't listen to me. Boeta did the same, she didn't listen to him as well.
That's not the question.
Dit is nie die vraag nie.
See, unlike with the previous questions, and those are, I merely have number references. I don't write everything again because I look at the evidence in chief and I give the page number in my book and the paragraph number. But in this particular one, that's where she called Kelly. Kelly didn't listen, and Boeta also called, but she didn't listen to him as well. You didn't ask her whether she deems it important. You just went straight to why she deems it important.
My Lord, I just asked her why she mentioned it in the evidence, then she said it is important.
Right?
Yeah.
So you deem this important?
Dit het u dit gesien as belangrik.
Nee, my lord.
Because that's, I didn't hear that part, and that's why I intervened.
Thank you, my Lord.
So now, why did you feel it necessary to tell us about it?
Hoekom het u gevoel dus?
Ik kan u of mij weten.
So, if you didn't deem that calling and ignoring to be important, why did you tell us about it?
As u jullie geroeperij en u geantwoorderij niet belangrijk geacht, kom met u ons daarvan vertel. Kom met u dat in hoofd van noem als u dat niet beschouwt als belangrijk.
Ik versta nog niet.
I don't understand.
Okay, forget about the importance. Why did you include that part in the story that you told us?
Hoekom het u daar gedeelte bijgevoegd aan uw verhaal wat u in hof voorgeleid of aan uw hof gezegd het? Vertel het.
Soos meneer nou vir my gevra het van important.
As you asked me about importance,
Van jou story.
about the wood issue.
No, because answers nobody else's story.
You're not with the wood issue now.
Listen to the question. And I
Listen
know it's
to the-
confusing because often people will tell a story that's not necessarily important, but it's part of the story.
Moeilijk zal u een persoon iets zeggen, alhoewel dat niet belangrijk is, maar het is deel van een story wat een persoon moet zeggen. Vertel.
So if, for example,
Zeg bijvoorbeeld,
we would have started late this morning
als we bijvoorbeeld zo laat beginnen vanochtend.
because one of the advocates left their phone at home,
Bijvoorbeeld een van die advocaten zou zeggen, telefoon er is.
it could not have been important because there was another reason why we were slightly late.
Verstaan nog niet.
But it would have been part of the story.
Alhoewel het niet belangrijk is, als iets is, omdat we laat beginnen, maar het is deel van het verhaal.
So all we want to know is,
Al wat we van kennis wil weten is,
when you spoke to Kelly, when you called her,
toen u voor Kelly geroep het,
she didn't want to listen to you.
ze wilde naar u luisteren.
And then Boeta also tried to call her, but she didn't want to listen to you.
Hetzelfde dat Boeta gaat doen, ze heeft ook niet naar hem geluisterd.
You told us that.
U dat
And he
nog
said,
gezegd.
it wasn't that important,
Dit
but
is
you still told us.
Maar dat is van zo belangrijk, maar u dat wel toch aan u opgezegd.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Verstaan u wat ik nou aan u zeg?
Ik is nou eerlijk met jullie aanbaren. Ik versta nou nog.
I'm honest with you now, my lord. I don't really understand you now.
Let's leave it there for now. Let's carry on.
Thank you. Ms. Lombard, let's move on. My next question to you is, why did you call Kelly? Can you recall why did you call her?
Kan u ano waarom u vir Kelly geroep het?
De reden hoekom ik voor Kelly geroepen heb,
The reason why I called Kelly,
van ik wil geen dat ze moet weer komen van die vullis af.
I wanted her to come away from, get away from the dirt.
Why did you want to get her away from the Phyllis? What is the problem there? Did you see a problem?
Hoekom u van die vullis hy? Wat was het probleem daar? Kon u 'n probleem sien?
Dat is correct, my lord.
And what is that problem?
Wat sal die probleem dan wees?
Van ze dat ze die vullis gaat krap.
Because she went to
Ik
scrap
zie,
in the dirt, in the rubbish.
ik heb haar gezien, ze krapt dat ze die vullis, ze staan in die mal van die vullis in.
I saw her scratching in this dirt rubbish, my lord, standing in between the dirt.
But in your evidence in chief, you told this court that Kelly had walked towards Booty to go and look what he dumped there. He dumped something.
U het gesê Kelly het gestap na hierdie man waar hy toe iets weggesmet het of weggegooi het.
Dat is correct, my lord.
That's right.
And then you said Kelly had long gemaakt. Kelly took a long time there at the rubbish.
U sê toe Kelly het 'n lang tyd gemaak in die vullis.
Dat is correct, my lord.
And you didn't like that.
U het nie daarvan gehou nie.
Dat is correct, my lord.
Now, Mr. Paulus Butta, his instructions, he will say he doesn't know anything about that.
Verskillende nommer 1 Boeta, meneer Paulus sal sê daar nie kennis daarvan.
Your comment, do you have a comment?
Enige kommentaar?
Nee, my lord.
What I find interesting, and I want to put it to you,
Wat ek baie interessant vind, ek gaan dit aan u stel,
that in your evidence you relate verbatim. In other words, you say the exact words that you heard that was said there, and I'll refer to now what you heard Butta say. Butta, your evidence says that Butta said, and I wrote it in inverted commas. Now those exactly, you are saying that's exactly the words.
I also wrote it in inverted commas. Butta, about this mos jy ou dis 'n klomp vullis.
The words I've got, my lord, is Kelly, dit is mos nie hout nie, dis 'n klomp rubbish vullis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I want to ask you, Ms. Lombard, you are giving evidence of exact words that Mr. Apollos would have said. How do you remember that?
u getuienis handel oor die direkte woorde wat Boeta sou aan Kelly gegee het. Hoe onthou u dit? Direkte woorde wat Boeta sou gebruik het aan Kelly, u gee gedennis in daai verband. Hoe onthou u die direkte woorde?
Kan u dit gou vir my herhaal asseblief?
Can you repeat that for me again?
Your evidence in chief was that Boeta said something to Kelly.
U het gesê, Boeta het vir Kelly iets gesê.
And you gave us the exact words that Boeta said. You
Just put it different.
Beg your
Just
pardon?
put it differently. Because we are confusing the witness. Remember, the other day you were here.
Die ander dag was hy gewees as ek kan nou.
You told us
U het vir ons gesê,
that Boeta said to Kelly,
Boeta het vir Kelly gesê,
and you used the exact words that he used.
u gebruik dieselfde woorde wat hy sou gebruik het.
So you told us that he said,
U het vir ons gesê dat u het gesê,
Kelly, dis mos nie hout nie. Dis
Kelly-
onvullis.
Kelly, this is not good, it's a lot of rubbish.
So nou is die vraag,
Now the question is,
how did you remember Boeta's exact words?
hoe kon u Boeta se direkte woorde onthou? Die woorde wat Boeta het gebruik het, hoe kon u dit onthou? Selfde woorde wat hy gebruik het.
Ik kan het onthou.
I can remember it, my lord.
You can't tell the court why you remember. There's nothing special, is there?
U kan nie vir die hof sê hoe kom jy dit onthou nie. As niks spesiaal is daar.
Niks, my lord.
Nothing.
I'm going to move on. In your evidence then, after that, exact, there's a word that's escaping me, my lord, that exact the words that Boeta used. Your next, as I've written down, your next bit of evidence says you told the court that Kelly had money in her hand. And then directly after that, I have it here that Kelly then told Requin he must
start the fire.
make fire.
He must start the fire so
He
long.
must start the fire. And the words were moet die vuur brandmaak, which is the correct.
So lank die vuur brand maak.
Yeah.
So I wrote it as
Yeah.
that he must start the fire so long.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember that?
Kan u onthou dat u gesê het dat Kelly sê vir Requin, hy moet so lank die vuur maak. Kan u dit onthou?
Dat is correct.
Now, let's start with the money.
Ons begin met die geld.
Dat is correct.
When exactly did you see Kelly had money in her hand?
Wanneer het u vir Kelly gesien dat sy geld in haar hand gehad het?
Where were you and where was Kelly?
Waar was u en waar was Kelly?
Wait, you see, you didn't wait for the answer on the first question. Then you asked another question.
I apologize, my lord, yeah. I'll start with the first one. Where were you and where was Kelly when you saw money in her hand?
Waar was u en waar was Kelly toen u geld in haar hand sien?
Bij Kelly's huis buitenkant.
At Kelly's house outside?
So Kelly had now already come back from the rubbish.
So Kelly het teruggekeer van die vullis. Kelly het teruggekom van die vullis af?
Dat is correct, my lord.
Yes.
So how do you know that she had money in her hand?
Hoe weet u dat sy geld in haar hand gehad het?
Voor ze gelopen naar de rabbis toe heeft, die geld gaat in de handen.
Before she went to the rabbi, she had the money in her hand.
And when she came back,
Toen ze terugkeert,
Toen ze terugkomt, weet ze nog steeds dat geld gaat.
when she returned, she still had the money.
Did you see when she got the money, where she got it from?
Kon is zien waar vandaan ze geld gekregen, wanneer ze die geld zo gekregen, van waar en wanneer.
Nee, my lord, ik heb het niet gezien. Nee.
No, I did not see, my lord.
So you say you saw she had money in her hand before she went to the rubbish. What did you see that made you say or think that she had money in her hand? Can you recall, what did you see?
In ze heeft haar gezien, toen ze naar die vullis toe was om een geld in haar hand, teruggekomen van die vullis, dat ze nog geld in haar hand gaan. Had het niet gezien dat ze geld in haar hand gaat.
Die tijd dat ze van die vullis, voor ze vullis doorgaan, dat ze geld in de hand gaat. Toen ze terugkomt van die vullis, dus toen weet ze nog steeds dat geld in de hand gaat.
Before she went to the rubbish, she still had money in her hand. From the rubbish, she still came back with the money in her hand.
Yes, we heard that. What I'm asking you, did you see the money? What is it? Was it notes? Was it coins?
Heb je de geld gezien? Was het noten? Was het coins? Munten?
Het was noten geweest.
Notes.
Dat is correct.
Now, for you to say that it was notes, you must have seen enough of the notes, as you say.
Als u nou zei dat het was noten geweest, dan moest u genoeg gezien hebben om te zeggen dat het is noten.
In de notes is 20 rand en 10 rand.
Notes is the witness described as 10 rands and 20 rands.
Yes. Now, what did you see? Did you see a 10 rand? Did you see a 20 rand? Did you see other denomination?
Het die enige andere, tussen die 20 en 30, enige andere gelden zo gezien?
Nee, my lord.
Verschillende hoeveelheid?
Nee, my lord.
No, my lord.
so did you see a 10 rand?
Heb je 10 rand gezien?
Ik heb de 10 rand en de 20 rand gezien, my lord.
I saw a 10 and 20 rand, my lord.
You saw 10 rand and a 20 rand. Why do you say that now? Why didn't you give that evidence? Said, I saw Kelly had a 10 rand, 20 rand in her hand. But you just said she had geld in her hand.
Hoekom sê jy nou dat sy vir jou so met 10 en 20 rand band? Tevoren het jy gesê, jy het gesê met geld in haar hand.
Kan ik over net mee?
Why didn't you say that when you gave evidence in chief, that she had a 10 rand and a 20 rand in her hand?
Hoekom het jy nie gesê toe u begin het met die getuienis dat sy 10 rand en 20 rand en dan 20 rand in haar hand gehad het nie? Hoekom jy sê dat u just nou?
Ik heb nog niet antwoord voor dat ding.
I don't have answer for that, I'm honest.
Are you writing with a pen, Mr. Arams?
I beg your pardon?
Are you writing with a pen? Are you writing with a pen?
Yes.
I'm writing with a pencil. What type of pen is it?
It's a black pen.
Why didn't you tell me that
BIC.
just now? Why did you not tell me that just now when I asked you? Do you get the point?
Well, the question was,
You
do
see
I
the
have a
point?
pen?
You see, the witness is led. She says, I saw she had money in her hand. So I ask you whether that's a pen. And you say yes. And then I ask you what type of pen it is. And then you tell me. And then I say to you, but why did you tell me it was a big pen?
But I was...
Mr. Arams.
I understand.
Mr. Arams, please. You know, we must ask questions that's fair as well. No person will be able to answer that.
My Lord, I've been asking her this question about the money. How do you know she had money in her hand? And she just said she knew, and then she didn't come out. The first one said there's 10 and 20.
But she was not asked the other day when she gave the evidence in chief how it was made up. She was first asked whether it they were notes or coins, etc. Then she said notes, and in that same vein, she mentioned the 10s and 20s in that stretch. But unless, of course, the instructions are that your client didn't see the money, then let's get to the point.
I'll move on. You also gave evidence that Kelly then asked Requin about make the fire, and I've already put that to you. My instructions from Mr. Polo is him and Kelly, as far as he knows, but definitely from his side, they never ask or let Requin or any of the children make fire.
In verband dat in ons gesê dat Kelly vir Requin sou vra om vuur te maak. Volgens beskuldig nommer 1, op geen stadium sal hy of Kelly kinders sou vra om 'n vuur te begin.
Ik heb daar bij Kelly gestaan, ik heb gehoord Kelly noemt dat.
I was standing next to Kelly. I heard her mentioning that.
We'll then have to hear from Kelly says, but my client says he has never and he will never, and they have never asked the Requin to make fire.
Hulle sal nooit tevore, hulle sal ook nooit in die toekoms vir Requin vra om vuur te begin.
But the evidence was not that your client asked Requin.
No.
So
No.
you put it to the witness that your client's instructions are that he never had, and nor would he have asked Requin. I'm putting it in that line.
My instructions are that him and Kelly, his opinion in his
So I'm
instructions.
putting it to the witness that according to him, Kelly didn't ask Requin on that.
Both of them would not have and didn't, yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Kelly did
Not would have.
Kelly didn't. in my-
She didn't. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
So the statement is that according to Mr. Paulus, Kelly didn't tell Requin to light the fire.
Volgens meneer Apollos het Kelly nie vir Requin gevra om 'n vuur te begin of op te steek nie. Aan te steek nie.
Ik heb gehoord Kelly noemt dat.
I heard Kelly mentioning that.
Thank you.
Thank you, my lord. Then, I don't want to go through your whole evidence in chief, but shortly after that, your evidence led that you spoke to Butta. You told Butta that you are now going to your house. And then you went.
Can you repeat that again?
Your evidence after this incident about the making fire and all that,
Die container was geweest na hierdie vuurstorie.
you gave evidence, said that you told Butta
Die container was dat eet vir Boete gesê.
that you are now going to your house, and then your evidence was then you went.
Die toe vir hom gesê gaan na my huis toe en eers toe na u huis toe.
Dat is correct, my lord.
Confirmed my lord.
Now, in all this time, from the breaking of the window, the threatening to stab, the fire instructions, where were your children?
Gedurende hierdie gesprek al hierdie gebeurtenis van die teaterbreekslaan, die gedreigement, vuur aansteek. Waar is die kinders?
Die kinders was in Borden saam met my gewees.
Kan jy raas?
Die kinders was saam met my gewees.
The children were with me.
Yes, the last time I asked you where your children were, you said they were sitting outside on the ground there.
Die
Remember?
laaste keer wat ek hier gepraat oor die kinders het ek gesê dat buite sit plat op die grond.
Dat is correct, my lord.
That's correct?
So were they still sitting outside on the ground?
Het hulle nog buite gesit op die grond?
Alle was nog aan buitkant gewees, my lord.
Yes, they were still outside, my lord.
But you're not answering our question. Were they still sitting on the ground?
Maar het nog steeds gesit op die grond.
Dat is correct, my lord.
Did you still see Nilo there?
Het u nog vir Nilo daar gesien?
Nilo was nou daar geweest, my lord.
Nilo was still there, my lord.
Sorry, do I get you correctly? Nilo was not there anymore? What did you
Het u my
say?
gehoor dat Nilo nie meer daar was nie?
What did you say, sorry?
Wat het u gesê?
Kan u
She
weer
said Nilo was still there.
Nilo was still there.
He was still there. Thank you.
Then you as I've already referred to your evidence, then you said you went home.
Volgens die verklaring of die getuienis het u gesê is toe huis toe.
That's correct, my lord.
Right?
And your evidence was that you again went and made food for your children.
U is toe om weer kos vir die kinders te maak.
That's correct, my lord.
That's right?
You didn't have a way of telling what time it is, but you obviously, and I'm putting it to you, not putting it to ask you, did you feel that it's lunchtime? You need to go and make food?
U kon nie sê of dat het wees nie, maar kon u aanvoel dat is nou etensuur dat u die kos moet maak.
That's correct, my lord.
She actually gave us an estimate in her evidence in chief. She gave us an estimate time
Yes.
that it was in her evidence in chief.
She estimated it was 1 o'clock.
Yes.
In your evidence, you indicated that it was 1 o'clock. How did you know, why did you give evidence saying that it is 1 o'clock if you didn't know what the time was?
U het gesê dat by 1 uur, hoe het u geweet dat so by 1 uur wees as u nie tyd by gehad het nie?
Want zo het hij aan die persoon gestuurd van Kawas af naar mijn huis toe. Toen even mevrouw later ze toen tijd meer gezet. Het is tijd voor als 1 o'clock.
I understand a person from Kawash. I asked him what time it was and then said it was 1 o'clock.
So, do I understand you correctly? That's the time when Ayanda sent somebody from the car wash, one person, am I correct?
Een persoon is stuur Ayanda volgens u is het voor u verstaan naar u toegestuurd.
That's correct, my lord.
Yes.
There where you were with Kelly and at her house.
Waar u bij Kelly zijn was.
Hij was een tijd al bij mij huis geweest, al my lord.
At that stage I was at the house already, my lord.
Okay. So when you said it was 1 o'clock, then you had already been at home and somebody was sent to you from the car wash, and that's how you know it was 1 o'clock. Is that what it
Ja,
is?
u is aangekomen, iemand zal stuur naar u toe. U vraagt hoe laat het tijd is en de persoon zegt 1 o'clock. Just to u besef dat het is 1 o'clock.
That's correct, my lord.
I'm going to skip some of the other evidence.
Just a moment. Why did the person come to you from the car wash?
Hoekom het die persoon naar u toe gekomen vanaf Kawash?
Hij had die persoon gestuurd om politie van Kawas voor die tires te komen halen bij de huis.
I understand the person from the Kawash to the house to fetch polish.
Was that the only reason?
Is dat de juiste reden?
Dat is de enige reden wat ik heb, my lord.
Only reason, my lord.
What were you cooking for lunch?
Wat het niet voor middageten gekookt?
Er was pap geweest, my lord.
Pap?
Only pap?
Net pap?
Ik heb net pap gemaakt. Ik heb pap en vlees heb ik gemaakt, my lord. Sorry voor u.
I made pap and meat, my lord. Sorry for that.
Did you have it in the house earlier that day?
En u dit vroeger in de dag
The ingredients? Did you have the ingredients for the pap and meat in the house earlier that day?
Goederen wat u zo gebruikt voorbereiden. En ieder wie heeft gehad om die pap en de vlees te maken.
Kan ieder gewoon weer van de weer herhalen als wil?
Can you please further?
When did you buy the flour,
Wanneer het u
maize
meal
meal
gekoopt?
that you used for the pap?
Die mieliemeel
and the meat.
en die vlees. Wanneer het u die mieliemeel en die meat en die vlees gekoop?
Dat was geweest in die tijd wat ik bij de huis geweest heb.
During the time I was at the house, my lord.
And did you have the money in the house or did somebody bring you the money?
Het u geld bij de huis gehad of het iemand die geld voor u gebracht?
Iemand heeft die geld voor mij gebracht, my lord.
Someone brought the money.
From where?
From Vapanan?
Van Kawas af, my lord.
From Kawas, my lord.
Was this a different person to the one that came to fetch the tire polish?
As die verschillende persoon in verband met die een wat die police kom halen?
Dat was dezelfde persoon geweest, my lord.
Same person.
Did he only come once or did he come twice?
As hy een keer na huis toe of as hy 2 keer?
Hij is 2 keer gekomen, my lord.
Twice.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to clear that up.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
That's how I understood the evidence. Was that the morning, you will recall, Mr. Haramsa, that she didn't have food for the kids.
Yes, Mark.
She only had food for Yayanda. And he went off to work. But there was an arrangement that once he gets money, somebody will bring money so that she can buy the ingredients. And that's why I wanted to check it up to see whether it's the same person that when he came for the polish that gave us the time, or whether there was another event.
Thank you, Mark.
My lord,
So at least now we've cleared
my
it.
lord, kan ik gewoon niet afstaan, alsjeblieft?
Can I have a break, please, my lord?
How long do you need?
Hoe lang?
Is 3-4 minuten genoeg?
Stem maar zo, my lord.
Alright, you may be excused.
Je kan verskoon word vir die wyle.
Why didn't adjourn? Because I was thinking we might adjourn in a moment. Is there a way that we can have, do you have these photographs in electronic form that you can project onto the screen? It will make it easier because you can enlarge them with the technology. And does anybody have a pointer? I'll check in my bag. I may have one. And that might assist with, instead of constantly passing things around that'll take time. It's 11:58. Why don't we let's take a 10-minute break. We come back. We try and push till 1.
Thank you, Mark.
And then we adjourn for 45 minutes for lunch. And then try and push through till 3. See how far we get. I know there was a plan that at some stage the interpreters will swap. You can discuss that amongst yourselves when and how.
Yes.
Now that you know well the times are going to run for the day.
Yes.
Because our afternoon session will then be 1 hour and a quarter. And when we're going to come back at 12:15, so we're going to take a quarter of an hour now so that you can discuss maybe the planning. And we'll make up that quarter of an hour that we're losing now by taking a 3/4 lunch break. And then between the two interpreters they can discuss how they're going to do it in the afternoon. So till 12:15 then, till 12:15, we're going to try and push through till 1.
Thank you, Mark.
Court lecture.